Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy.
Kyle, this is not a Daishiki Amundsen.
Not a daishiki?
Yeah, it's just a poncho.
Oh, what is a daishiki?
Daishiki is like an African robe. Actually, looks a little bit like
exactly like that.
But and also looks comfortable as fuck. I don't own one, but I'm not ruling it out.
Huh. Well, yeah, I was gonna wear my hijab, but I decided not to. So, because they look comfortable as fuck. I actually don't know what a hijab is either. I just know it's something that.
That's the isn't that the like facial scarf and shit like that?
Could be, yeah. Kind of like a burqa. So
Durka?
A durka.
Durka.
So, we just got together a little bit ago, and
a week ago today.
And we are doing a rapid fire, another edition. This is our 70th podcast
because of popular demand. The last one was so popular, that both of the people that follow us were clamoring for more.
Yes.
So here we are.
Kyle, what do you know about Kyle Rittenhouse?
I know that he's a great American and a hero.
I 100% agree.
If you're like some closeted fucking like, I was going to say closeted incel, but that doesn't make any sense. If you're some, basically, he's king of the dipshits.
Okay, I'm going to try to make a case today that he is a hero and that I'm on his team.
Fair enough.
So I didn't know anything about the Rittenhouse case at all. Nothing. I couldn't even have told you that that it happened in Wisconsin. All right. Until, I don't know, probably, well, must have been, no, it was before the last podcast, but just before the last podcast, I, of course, listened to a podcast. And I've talked a lot about my main man, Daryl Cooper, who has this podcast called Martyr Made. And I subscribe to a Substack, and so he puts out all of this extra content now, and I'm always getting this extra content. And he went on a tirade about the Rittenhouse case, and I just went balls deep in it.
Was he all in on the self-defense?
I'd like to lay the argument out for you.
Sure.
So I am essentially plagiarizing this entire podcast, and if you are interested, subscribe to Martyr Made Substack and get Daryl Cooper's extra shit, because I'm telling you, the man is just amazing. But what started the whole shit in Kenosha? Do you even remember?
The police shot that dude in Kenosha.
Yep.
And it was a sketchy shooting.
Yeah.
Not as sketchy as some that we've seen.
Yeah. How sketchy was it? I mean, by your memory. Yeah.
Well, I remember the video.
It's Jacob Blake was the guy's name.
Blake, gotcha. Yeah. But he did, like, the guy did make some threats and stuff like that. And they shot him in the back, didn't they?
Okay. Well, this is what really happened. So it was August 23rd, 2020. All right. And there's this guy named Jacob Blake who is in the process of trying to load up this lady's children in her car, a rental car. And he's trying to load up her children in her rental car and leave her property. Right. And she calls the police on him. And when the police get the call, it comes up, Jacob Blake. Motherfucker's got a warrant for his arrest for sexual assault. He apparently a couple months before to another lady.
Was it another lady? I thought it was that same woman.
I think it was another lady. He went into her apartment while she was sleeping in bed with her kid. He inserted his fingers in her vagina. Took them out, smelled them, and said,
"Thank you for not saying pussy."
He said, "You smell like you've been with other men." So he's pretty gangster, all right. So he has a federal,
little creepy, little gross.
Or he has a felony arrest warrant, And cops also know that like this incident's involving children. So I mean, they're coming in pretty hot, right? So they get there, and Blake is indeed literally trying to put a kid in the car, right? They try to get him to stop, and they start wrestling with the guy and blah, 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 blah. They get him down on the ground. He ends up getting back up, which, by the way, come on, you guys.
Come from Wisconsin. It's not that far of a drive. Take Matt's class.
Takedown gym every Thursday. This should never happen. You get a guy on the ground, it should be a done deal. Anyway, he ends up getting back up. They tase him. He pulls the tasers out. They tase him a second time. He pulls the second tasers out. Another cop runs up on him and gives him the whatever that's called.
The people's elbow?
No, when you don't tase them, when you don't shoot the taser, but you just use it as because the problem with the taser is if you pull the tasers out, it stops the juice, but you can like hit them with the actual gun and jolt them, right? So stunned. They tried to stun him. All right. So 3 times they attempted to like put this motherfucker down. Which, by the way, he's got a knife. It's folded at this time, but he's got a knife that's on him. They identified it. So these cops just are not able to get him down. He ends up getting in the car, right? And now one cop goes up on him and grabs him like through the window of the car, right? He takes his knife out and he goes to stab the fucking cop, and the cop shoots him 7 times. All right. Now this is not disputable, right? There were 5 total witnesses to the thing. Nobody disagrees that Jacob Blake was in the act of trying to actively abduct children, or that he was trying to stab the cop.
Sure.
Okay. So there's no argument that that innocent black men are killed by police officers in this country.
Yeah, at an alarming rate. Well,
I don't know. I'd like to put a pin in the alarming rate, but yes, it absolutely happens. It absolutely happens. This was not that case. This was a case
there's
of
plenty
a
of
dirty, fucking shitty scumbag who was resisting arrest and then trying to stab an officer. One of the most justified shootings out there. You all right? So, what happens next?
He dies.
Kenosha burns. This fucking Kenosha burns, right?
Yeah.
So,
as we know, I mean, it was probably because it was so close to.
It was shortly after the George Floyd thing.
And as we know, people fucking get excited about. People get stupid over the most justifiable of shootings. Well, remember that cop that when we talked about the girl that was going to stab the other girl, and that cop made a split-second decision and shit and killed her. There was the fight outside and stuff. The video. I can't remember the girl's name.
I don't remember it,
but I mean, and it was clear cut. Like that cop saved that girl's life. It was great. It was great. It was perfect.
Yep.
And like if anything, I hope that fucking the rest of his department got fucking like all had to have rotator cuff surgery from fucking like patting him on the fucking back so much.
Right.
He saved that girl's life. He just and he was fast. Never want to get in a gunfight with that. But people were uptight about, like, got crazy about that one too, and I'm like, man,
right.
Wow.
So this was an absolute justified shooting, and that's not even debatable. I mean, like, the cop was cleared of all charges. Like, They never.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. But
it kind of does in this setting, though, because if at any point a cop was going to get charged for an unjustified shooting, it was going to be at this point, and it just wasn't unjustified. Nobody actually thinks so. But what you said in the beginning, like when I asked you like what started off, you said it was because like it was a questionable shooting and like the guy was shot in the back, and that was reported a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And he was also shot in the front. He was shot 7 fucking times because he had a knife and was going after an officer, and the officer pulls a gun and fucking just opened fire. And I don't know if you've ever been shot. I haven't. But you don't just
Not today.
You don't just sit there and take it. You flop around.
You do if you're a man.
So he gets shot, boom, boom, and he fucking turns around and gets shot in the back. And the officer just discharges his gun until he drops the knife. Then they drag him out of the car. They try to save his life. They don't. He got shot 7 fucking times. You know,
like we've talked about before, you know, a lot gets made of shooting somebody in the back. Now, if you shoot somebody in the back when they are running away, that's one thing. But like in combat, you know, you shoot somebody in the back. You know, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, you shoot him in the front, and then you shoot him in the back, and then you just shoot him.
Shoot, move, communicate.
Right.
You know, like just because somebody isn't currently like in the process of fucking like attacking you, you know, does not mean that you are safe. You know, like
right.
That.
But in this case, he was in the process of attacking him.
Yes.
And people make a lot about the fact that why did you have to shoot him 7 times? You shoot until they stop. That's it. I mean, it's not 7 times isn't even that much.
The double tap is a myth. You must keep shooting until your magazine is empty. That is the only way that you know your enemy can reach real peace.
Not necessarily empty, but until he's good and dead.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with him being shot 7 times.
I think that this was one of the most ridiculously reported events in modern media. I mean, it was just made out that what the headlines were, white cop shoots innocent black man.
Fucking Wisconsin trying to like steal our thunder, you know?
Yeah. Well, it was more national news than it was Wisconsin, because Wisconsin is an interesting state, which we will learn, because they were like, yeah, good. I mean, that white cop shoots innocent black man. Sounds good to me. But yeah, it exploded. And I would even argue that it was kind of engineered to explode. After the George Floyd incident, I think,
there was a given that the next several officer-involved shootings that involved African Americans were going to be, you know, like
something had to burn.
There was going to be a media circus.
Something had to burn. And I didn't realize until I listened to this podcast how much money was behind engineering these protests. It was interesting. Black Lives Matter collected $90 million to like basically get to support protests nationwide. I had no idea of that. And that's only one Black Lives Matter organization. It's Black Lives Matter national, global, something or other. It's this one company, one nonprofit organization. But $90 million.
I wonder what their board looks like.
Yeah, I bet it's pretty fucking white.
I just mean like I always expect to like in a organization where you should see like stand up, you know, some like believers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some really influential, you know, good, credible people. Instead, you find like Al Sharpton, you know, and stuff like that.
Well, actually, no. What you really find is lots of the organizers of Black Lives Matter are like fucking middle class white people. Like, that's the thing. It's like it's a fucking
talk about appropriation.
It's exactly what it is. No, I'm telling you that I think this whole like this is an engineered fucking protest. Like it was engineered by fucking middle class white people trying to like enrage the fucking plebs into like rioting because that helped their fucking cause. And it pisses me off.
But what was their cause, though? I mean,
what was going on in 2020? There was something weird. I can't remember.
Oh, do you think it had to do with the election?
It may have had to do with an election. So that's my argument. So basically what I'm saying is that what happened was that what created the events that led to Kyle Rittenhouse were engineered. That's my argument. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. That's fucking true. Okay.
We're going to start with he wasn't breastfed.
Probably not. Yeah, and there's a whole, I'm going to skip a bunch of this, but there's a whole bunch of stuff about GoFundMe and the Riot Kitchen and all this stuff, and I really encourage you to go listen to that podcast. One thing that I thought was really interesting is after the first night of riots, the governor was asked to have the National Guard come in and, like, you know, restore peace.
And he declined?
He declined, yeah. Which is crazy.
Don't worry. I got a teenager coming in from Illinois.
Well, that's exactly it. So what happened, right? All of these businesses that are like fucking getting burned down and, you know, it's complete chaos there. They're like, fuck. And they're getting no help from the police or the National Guard. The police were like literally just containing. They weren't the ones going out fucking putting out fires. They were just containing. And no National Guard. So what are the locals to do but arm up and start defending their properties? So a bunch of people were organized, local people were organized to get together and try to defend the town.
And now, that attracted...
So then they brought in this killer
17-year-old
from, you know, this 17-year-old, you know, they had to recruit him from the faraway town of whatever, Ashbygd or whatever the fuck it is.
Which isn't that far away.
No. So a lot was made out of the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse came from Illinois to come to Kenosha to, like, you know, because he wanted to, like, get into a fight, right?
What is it, like a half-hour drive?
He's Crosby. It's like him coming from Crosby to fucking, like, defend Brainerd. Kenosha was his town. His dad lived in Kenosha. His friends were in Kenosha. His job was in Kenosha. He's 17. He lived with his mom in Illinois and went and stayed at his dad's house all the time.
But he said that he was there to protect that business.
He was there.
His job is to protect that business.
His job was to protect that business.
I mean,
he was.
It's like he was there to protect grandma or something like that.
No. He was asked to come in and protect that business along with hundreds of other guys. Right? It was a big old group of people that were like protecting businesses.
How did they reach out to him?
He was just there. He was in Kenosha. He was in Kenosha with his friends, and
so were they like?
Okay,
who asks these who asks these people to arm up and guard their businesses?
I don't know, just the businesses. You know, like it was his buddy that that lived in Kenosha, like got him to go with him to the one car dealership or whatever that he was defending. The first night of the riots, Kyle was volunteering to get graffiti off of a school, right? You know, so he's a kid who was like, who wanted to be involved. He wanted to like help out. He wanted to whatever. Yeah. So this is the second night of the riots. This is when the action really happens, right? And yeah, Kyle didn't cross straight lines. Kenosha, it's a town just really close to the town that he lives in, really close to. Yeah, riots. Yeah, okay, got all that. I don't want to miss any of this. Okay. Okay, so the second night of the riots, Kyle is guarding this one place with a couple other guys. One of them's like this big old army vet, and they're all fucking armed up. Okay, so interestingly enough, lot has been made of the idea that Kyle like brought this AR across state lines. Not true. Purchased in Wisconsin, purchased legally, and Wisconsin's fucking crazy. 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse had every legal right to be walking around with the rifle, right? Because it's fucking Wisconsin. And like the court threw out the charge of like wrongful possession of the firearm or whatever. They were like, what are you talking about? It's fucking Wisconsin. Of course he can have a gun. You know? So legally obtained, purchased in Wisconsin, he's carrying it legally. at 17 years old. Do I think this is kind of fucking crazy? Yes, I think it's kind of fucking crazy, but it wasn't illegal. And totally legal at this point. Even legal for him to be sitting there holding his gun, standing in front of businesses. All this is legal. So he's hanging out with this guy, and there's a bunch of video of Kyle going around trying to basically offer aid to people, saying, does anybody need medical? Does anybody need medical? As a matter of fact, the third guy he shoots first met Kyle because he was giving aid to protesters. He was like giving medical aid to protesters, which is pretty fucking crazy. So then Kyle gets a call and set from a friend of his that is guarding another business that this guy owns, and says, hey, will you guys come down here? We're having some trouble, whatever. So he and this vet are like going to the other place. This is when all this happens. And he ends up getting separated from the other guy. And he finds himself in a, I remember what happened.
Did he get separated when they were, because they were being fired upon by the libs?
No, not yet. So he, and there's an argument that there wasn't much for lips there. So, he gets a call from his buddy saying, hey, there's a fire here. Can you grab a fire extinguisher? So he goes to grab a fire extinguisher, gets separated from the vet. And now he's making his way to the second location. And he runs into this giant crowd of people who just set a fucking truck on fire. Right? So he is like, oh, fuck. So he runs over there and he's going to put the fire out. And he's saying, friendly. And that's when he runs into, what is this guy's name? I took so many notes.
Is that
Joseph Rosenbaum. Now, let's talk about this gem.
Who is a convicted sex offender?
Child rapist. Yep. 5 counts. He anally raped 5 children between the ages of 7 and 9, right? Convicted. Just got out of fucking, just got out of.
How, does it say how old he is?
No.
I wanted to say he was like 24.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And because I remember being shocked that he had gotten out after being convicted, because I'm like,
interesting. Yeah.
How many fucking kids do you have to fuck?
It's Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. Like,
but actually, I don't know about Joseph Rosenbaum. I don't even know if he was from Kenosha.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't 24. Maybe he was in his 30s or something. I don't know. But for crimes like that, like anything under 700 years old seems like not
right
really enough.
He had just been released from a psych ward for his second suicide attempt in the last few months. Like
just like he
that
was
day.
Carrying a bag with the stuff that they gave him a bag with his personal shit and toothpaste and fucking
that's true.
Toothbrush and shit like that. That's the bag that he attacked.
That he
Kyle
threw
Rittenhouse with.
at Kyle. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but
and he was carrying a bag full of his shit. That's how recent his fucking release was.
From a second suicide attempt. And he there's shit piles of video of him running around like screaming at people with guns, saying, shoot me, nigga. Shoot me, nigga. Now, did you know that Joseph Rosenbaum was white?
Yes.
I didn't fucking know that. Oh, I was 100%. No, again, I didn't pay any attention to this case until just recently. But I was under the impression
that he shot
3 black people. Right?
No.
But right, Joseph Rosenbaum, totally white, running around yelling the N-word at everybody. It is fucking crazy. So the guy, obviously, kind of was looking to get killed, right? Maybe. But he was definitely psychotic. He had run into Kyle earlier in the night, right? But at that point, Kyle was with the big vet, and he had told Kyle that if he found him alone, he was gonna fucking kill him. He was gonna cut his fucking heart out. Blah 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 blah. He was like whatever.
I think they've got video of that too.
Yeah, there's fucking shit piles of video. It just everybody was recording everything. So he's going over to put the fire out on this truck, And who does he run into but old Joey Rosenbaum, Bram, fucking whatever. And he's like, oh shit. He puts down the fire extinguisher, and fucking Joseph Rosenbaum comes like fucking chasing after him. So what does Kyle do? Blows him away, right?
No, he like had to fend off his attack with the plastic bag first.
No, he ran. Yeah, exactly. So Joseph Rosenbaum comes fucking chasing after him, and what does this killer do? He fucking runs. He runs away, and then Joseph Rosenbaum throws a bag at him. Apparently, a bag he had just gotten from getting out of the hospital, and Kyle turns around, points his gun at him. Said, I don't know if he says anything, but he points his gun at him. And what does Rosenbaum do? Fucking charging right at him. So fucking Kyle's like, fuck. He turns around, starts running. And then somebody shoots a shot. Okay? Nobody knows what it is, but tons of witnesses that it happened. Somebody in the crowd shoots a shot. And what's Kyle to do but assume, that Joseph is the one that shot the shot? No, it wasn't, right? But he doesn't fucking know that. He's being chased by this fucking child rapist. And then, like something hits him in the back. He turns around, points a gun at him, fucking turns around, runs again. Somebody shoots a shot. He turns around again and is like, this time he's fucking serious. And he points his gun at Joseph Rosenbaum. And what does Joseph Rosenbaum do? Fucking grabs his gun, tries to take it away from him, right? And then Kyle shoots him. What does he shoot? 4 times? I think he shoots him 4 times. And guess what happens? He shoots him in the back. Because that's what fucking happens when you shoot somebody.
Wait a minute. Was he wrestling the gun? Was he trying to wrestle the gun away from him? Or was he running away?
No. What are you talking about?
I mean, usually if I try to take something from someone, like I'm not very flexible, but I usually grab shit like from the front.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess I'm trying to figure out if he if he's trying to wrestle the gun away from at this point, or if he's running away.
Yeah, he was doing both at the same time apparently. No, yeah, he went and he grabbed the gun and fucking Kyle shot him and boom, 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 and fucking of course he fucking turns around and gets shot in the back, and it was widely reported that he shot him in the back, and it's like. He shot him in the front at point blank range. He shot him in the front and in the back because he fucking spun around. Right?
Wisconsin.
Right. But that's what happens when you shoot somebody. Especially at point blank range with a high power rifle. They fucking spin. Yeah. And some shit's been made about him shooting him 4 times. Like, was that necessary? And it's like, that was restraint. Because Kyle seemed very cognizant of like the fact that there were other, people around, blah, blah, blah. So there's a reporter, like, fucking right there, right, who, like, witnesses the whole thing, goes to give aid to Joseph Rosenbaum, right? And Kyle, like, is like, holy fuck, I just shot a guy, gets on his phone, calls his buddy, and says, hey, I just shot somebody, what should I do? You got to remember, he's a 17-year-old kid. Like, I was a fucking moron when I was 17, right? So, like, he's operating at a pretty, intelligent level. Like, he's like, okay, I just shot somebody. What do I do? And his friend's like, dude, you gotta go and turn yourself in. Got to go to the cops right now. He's like, roger that. The crowd's starting to gather. They're trying to start to figure out what's going on. Somebody starts beating the shit out of the reporter. Because obviously he's giving aid to the down man. He must be guilty, right? He gets fucking punched in the face and shit. So Kyle's like, okay, I'm out of here. And he starts going toward the cop line, right? Well, the crowd starts seeing this guy with a rifle walking away from the scene. And so what do? They start chasing him, and they're fucking saying like pretty heinous shit. Like get him, brain that bitch, blah, 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 right? So Kyle's like bolting for the fucking line. And all of a sudden, let's see. Gotta remember their names. Anthony Huber. Yep, Anthony Huber. This guy's a gem. He's chasing. They're all. I mean, there's a crowd chasing him, right? Kyle Anthony Huber fucking whips his skateboard at Kyle and fucking hits him in the back of the head or in the neck, whatever. And Kyle's still just running, and he fucking, goes a little bit farther, and then he trips and falls. So Huber is a felon as well. He was charged with, I don't remember what his exact charge is, but he essentially held his brother and grandmother hostage at knife point and made them like clean his fucking house or something, which I was like, the image of that was very interesting.
Which turns out they just started a cleaning company together, so he was well within his rights to do that.
Right. So he was also there. So he
in Wisconsin.
So Kyle's laying on the ground,
the magical kingdom,
and somebody runs up and kicks him in the head. It's not Anthony Huber. I'm not sure who that was. And so he's fucking bam. He's kicked in the head, and then Anthony recovers his magical skateboard. I'm envisioning it a lot like Captain America's shield. How it just like hit, and then it just spun right back to him. But I'm not 100% on that. Don't hold me to that. So he fucking picks up his skateboard, comes over, and he's going to brain fucking Kyle.
It would have been cooler if he would have, instead of kicking him in the head and throwing a skateboard at him, he should have combined those and like.
Well, somebody else kicked him in the head.
Nailed him with some fucking like skateboard like move.
Yeah, like
would have been way cooler.
Like an acid drop. So, but somebody else kicked him in the head. And so this guy has got the skateboard and he's coming up and he's going to fucking brain Kyle. And so Kyle shoots him at point blank range. And I think, how many times he shoots him? Point blank range. Yeah, I think just once. Just shoots him once, I think. Anyway, boom, down.
Well, you got to conserve ammo. It's early in the night yet.
So then, right after that,
you didn't come all the way to Wisconsin from fucking your faraway home in another state to shoot a couple of just blow your load. And
so boom, he shoots Anthony. Anthony's down, and then Gage Grosskreutz, who is brandishing a pistol
illegally.
and has been chasing Kyle as well. Yes, Grosskreutz had already been charged with brandishing a unlawful firearm under the influence. He had the gun illegally and absolutely should not have had it, so on and so forth. He even knew who Kyle was because Kyle was that nice kid who was running around trying to help people. But you know what? Fuck it. Fuck Kyle. So he's got this gun and he's running up on Kyle, and Kyle fucking goes from Anthony right to Gage and blows him away. No, he doesn't blow him away because Gage stops. He's like, and then he's like, fuck. And he puts his hands up, right? And Kyle doesn't fucking shoot him because he shows fucking amazing restraint, right? I'm telling you, I'm in a situation, there's a lot of dead people, right? There's a lot of fucking dead people because
they would have convicted you though.
100%, and they should have, because I would have. As soon as the first one went down, I would have been like, you know what, like, fuck it. The best. It's hard for dead people to chase you, right? So he doesn't shoot Gage, right? And Gage has his hands in the air, still holding the gun, right? So Kyle like looks down. I'm assuming he's looking to make sure Anthony is not getting back up, right? And as soon as he looks down, fucking Gage pulls down on him, right? And Kyle fucking boom shoots him in the fucking arm it's like out of the movies. He shoots him in his fucking shooting arm, right? One time.
Conserving ammo. I respect it.
Just an absolute fucking amazing amount of restraint, right? He shoots a guy. The guy's 6 feet away from him. He points a gun at his head, and he shoots him in the arm. The guy doesn't even drop the gun.
Now, there's no chance that he tried to shoot him in the arm. He's probably he's probably going for center mass, but
maybe Kyle's just a fucking badass. Right? But regardless of whether he intended to or not, he shoots him one time, and as soon as the guy like goes back and he's still holding the gun, Kyle doesn't fucking rat-tat him, right? Okay, so I think that Gage like should be fucking writing Christmas cards. He's gonna have to learn how to write left-handed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should be sending Christmas cards to Kyle fucking every year saying like, thank you for like sparing my fucking life because I didn't deserve it. So then Kyle gets up and he fucking bolts and he runs to the police line, right? To like turn himself in. And you know what he gets for his efforts?
High five.
Pepper sprayed. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
He goes to try to turn himself in to the police line, and the cops are like, stay back, and he's like, but I just shot people, and they were like, and they fucking pepper sprayed him, right? And he's like, shit. So he ends up going back to where he finally hooks up with his people that are back at the other place, and then is like, they're like, okay, well, looks like this shit's over. And then he went back to his town, which is Anti-Lock, Illinois. And he goes back and turns himself in to the police there. They don't pepper spray him, and that's it.
So, the moral of the story is maybe don't bring a gun. Maybe learn how to fight so you don't have to shoot unarmed people. And then, and then the crowd won't attack you, and all this shit could have been avoided.
Well, I tried to put myself in Kyle's shoes, okay, and it's hard because like I'm no longer 17, and when I didn't have a AR, but he was doing at least what he thought, and quite honestly, what I think.
Well, there's no chance that kid should have fucking like went to jail for the rest of his life or some shit like that. I just don't agree with that whatsoever. A lot of people think that he should have been found guilty on all charges, like it's first degree murder and shit like that.
Well, first of all, the fucking prosecution charged him with first degree murder, which means that Kyle had to have planned premeditated murder. So Kyle had to have planned to go put this fire out in order to get Joseph Rosenbaum to attack him, and then so that he would be justified in shooting him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's retarded.
It sounds like I said, I haven't followed it very closely. I've kind of been doing other stuff, but I think the prosecution should have charged him with some charges that actually apply. Charge him with shit that that he's actually fucking like guilty of. That you have a chance.
Well, he was not guilty of any of them, which a jury of his peers finally. That was the verdict. Kyle was exonerated from all charges. You knew that, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he's not guilty.
Yeah, 3 days of third day of deliberation or whatever.
Yeah, which was pretty touch and go. Like there were a lot of people that thought, on both sides, that thought like that it was likely that they were going to come back with some charges. Very unlikely the first degree murder. But I feel like that would have been a gross fucking miscarriage of justice, in my opinion, and like the court also agrees with me. This was a absolute clear fucking case of self-defense, right? And Wisconsin law is one of the most liberal laws as far as self-defense goes. Like you have no duty to retreat in Wisconsin. Many other states you have a duty to retreat. So if somebody is threatening you with lethal force, or where you think, or a reasonable person would think that their life or body was in danger, because it doesn't even have to be like they're going to kill you.
So you can kill somebody
if they're going to hurt you.
If you're like, you can kill somebody to avoid an ass whooping.
Yes.
God, that's a wimp.
In Wisconsin, if you think that guy's going to beat the shit out of you, right? You can fucking kill him in Wisconsin. So and you have no duty to retreat. So you don't have to be like run away first and then kill them if they pursue you. Nope. In Wisconsin, you can just stand your ground and fucking kill them. Now, Kyle did retreat, right? He went above and beyond what was required by the law, right? it also in Wisconsin, if you provoke somebody to attack you and they attack you, guess what you can do?
Kill them.
Fucking kill them. Yep. You have no.
It makes Wisconsin sound like a lot more fun place to live than it really is.
Yeah. Yeah. So in Wisconsin,
I'm good at talking shit, and I've got a gun.
So Kyle could have went up to Joseph Rosenbaum, pointed his gun at his face, spit at him, told him, whatever you want to tell him, and then if Rosenbaum attacked him, Kyle would be well within his rights to shoot him. Okay, but that is not what happened. There's no evidence, and nobody's even claiming that Kyle provoked Rosenbaum, other than with the horrible fucking act of trying to put out his fire. I mean, that's the provoke. That's what the prosecution is calling his
Matt,
provocation.
You don't know. I mean, that guy. Did he have any maybe he had hot dogs in that bag too. Maybe he was going to cook something. Maybe,
it's possible. He I
don't want to starve to death. If
so
you put out my cooking fire,
Kyle goes to put
life.
out the fire, and the prosecution is saying that's provocation to get Rosenbaum to attack you so that you can kill him, and that was and even more importantly, that was your plan all along, right? Because you really just went out there to murder a guy. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. And it absolutely, we shouldn't be having this conversation because this trial shouldn't have happened. He never should have been charged with anything. And he's absolutely 100% innocent. And you know what fucking pisses me off more than anything is that almost everybody I like thinks he should be in fucking jail, right? The problem is that liberals, the liberal left has taken this on as like that fucking hick dipshit went out there and killed protesters. First of all, they weren't even fucking protesters; they were fucking criminals that were there.
Now here's where that argument gets stupid. Kyle Rittenhouse was unaware of these people's I know that like nobody thinks that this kid that runs around sodomizing, or this guy that runs around sodomizing children is a fucking great person or anything. But these people aren't being punished for their crimes.
Right. I'm not saying that Kyle is a vigilante who went out there and killed
every fucking time the conversation happens, every fucking time you bring up Kyle Rittenhouse, all everybody wants to talk about is what shitbags that he killed.
What conservatives want to talk about is what you're saying.
And yeah, and what and yes, he killed some shitbags, or at least some people that had fucking committed some fucking pretty disgusting.
They were shitbags. At least two of them were.
But he didn't know that,
right.
And it's not his job, he's not the Punisher,
right. Right. I'm not saying he's
even though he'll probably if they recast that, you never know.
But here's the real argument: is that Kyle should never have been there. Kyle should never have been there. He should have never been there with a gun. He should have never been doing it. You know who shouldn't have been there? Fucking Joseph Rosenbaum and fucking Anthony Huber and whatever the last fucking guy's name is, because they weren't fucking Black Lives Matter protesters. That's not this wasn't their passion. They were a bunch of fucking criminals, which a bunch of the people that were there because they wanted to fuck some shit up, and probably were being paid to do so, because that's a very common thing where organizers of these riots will literally be behind the scenes, like fucking paying people and shit.
How common is that? You think?
Apparently very common. If you talk police report it constantly. Now, who the fuck knows?
Funny that the police would say that.
Okay, but regardless,
after they get done investigating themselves,
you have a giant group of people that are not from your fucking town come to your town to fuck up your town, and you
Kenosha
defend your
doesn't need
town.
extra shitbags by all reports.
Right,
Kenosha
but the thing is it was
shithole.
not an uprising of fucking local people over a tragedy that was like
agreed.
It was an invasion of a fucking town by an orchestrated organization with the intent to fuck up the town. Like that's the intent riot, fucking make it news. So this 17-year-old kid,
which also, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the case either.
which part?
The fact that these people were not, I don't know if, the case has anything to do with the, how qualified the protesters, the rioters or whatever.
No, it's just that it's the argument. The only argument that anybody seems to have is that Kyle shouldn't have been there. And my point is, neither should have the fucking people that got shot. That wasn't
none of them had any legitimate business there.
And none of them were fucking, huge Black Lives Matter fucking activists.
Yeah.
They were shitbags that wanted to do violence. And it happened in Minneapolis as well. Not fucking after George Floyd and the fucking the big protests in Minneapolis, it's a completely different fucking.
Oh, you're never gonna have if you have a protest and shit, you're gonna get mutts that are just there to fuck shit up and burn shit and stuff. We got local guys
and God forbid,
that are in jail
Kyle,
right now.
God forbid
they went down to the fucking George Floyd protests and shit and lit fires and stuff.
And God forbid that you say no. I'm not going to let you burn down this business in my town.
Oh, no, I think that's, anyone can say that.
Right.
But, you can't necessarily just shoot them or whatever. But
that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
I know. He got attacked with a plastic bag.
And then he shot them.
And then he shot somebody.
Yeah. And he had every legal right to do so.
Apparently.
And you know what the thing is what.
So that's not, so that's not on him legally.
I don't think it's on him at all.
It's on Wisconsin because you can't.
I don't even think it's on Wisconsin. Which Wisconsin is the wild fucking west as far as.
If you can talk shit to somebody until they come after you and then kill and then shoot them, then maybe your laws are.
Wait a second.
Fucked up.
What's your favorite scene out of fucking Lonesome Dove?
Lonesome Dove is a movie, man.
What's your favorite scene out of that?
My favorite scene is when Tommy Lee Jones' character intervenes while his son is being beaten, being whipped by that cavalry scout.
Yeah. And what's he do?
He kicks his ass.
And what's he say?
He says, I hate rude behavior in a man. I won't tolerate it.
Exactly.
So he beats a guy. He beats a guy who's beating his son.
Yeah. And he won't tolerate rude behavior in a man. And the thing is...
So I think that... So the standard for rude behavior is a little different there.
I don't think there's any... yes, obviously it's different because there was no beating of the son. But the point is that, I try to put myself into Kyle's shoes. Now, first of all, I'm a 17-year-old kid who's in a rural community. You grew up in a fucking rural community. And I remember talking long ago about how you didn't even you thought black people were fucking aliens until you went to college.
Yeah.
Right. So
basically.
Yeah.
I grew up with a couple of black folks, but I didn't. It wasn't the issues. They were just I don't think that they really. They were just white people by proxy, kind of they'd always been there. And
right.
I don't know if they dealt with. I don't know what they dealt with. I wasn't friends with. I didn't have any black friends until college.
But when you were 17, you had a much different view of the world than
Certainly.
you do today.
Absolutely.
And so the 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who grew up in a rural community in fucking Illinois, in basically Hickville, right? I gotta imagine he kind of had some rural Hickview ideas, and he obviously was kind of infatuated with law enforcement and was
He's a bootlicker.
Yeah, which there are plenty of. Which by the way isn't a crime.
No, not at all.
And he went to do what he thought was the right thing. I think Kyle absolutely thought he was being part of the solution in going out and trying to like defend these businesses and protect his town.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%. And then he finds himself in a really bad situation with some really bad people, and he gets attacked, and he defends himself, and it becomes the fucking trial of the century.
And now he's like set for life.
I fucking hope he's set for life. Yeah, but I saw some meme saying, somebody said I'm changing my name to Kyle Rittenhouse because I want to get laid or something like that. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God. I thought about that yesterday. He's going to get so much of that like crazy chick right wing like pussy thrown at him. He's going to fucking probably be smothered.
But there was a pretty solid chance he was going to go to prison.
Was there though?
There was. Not for the first degree murder, but whatever I can't remember what all the charges were, but I just listened to this one, what is it, The Daily, and they were talking about the verdict and how...
Well, I mean, certainly, I think we've established that, it's been established for us. We have not established it. It's been established for us that there are some states in which he probably would have been convicted of it, at least some charges.
Well, Jesus Christ, if he was in California walking around with an AR, he would be guilty of a felony. So yeah, of course.
And if your like self-defense laws are a little less.
If he was in New York State,
I was going to say Old West, but
yeah.
I'm surprised to learn that the standard for self-defense is so fucking low there.
Yeah. Well, but also, and I mean, that's debatable of whether or not. I think the self-defense laws are perfect in Wisconsin. Minnesota's self-defense laws are actually really close to Wisconsin's too. We also do not have I don't believe we have a duty to retreat in Minnesota. I don't know, but probably should find that out before I start killing people. But
not if we just go to Wisconsin.
Well, that's true.
It's not that far anyway, and most of those people are pretty ugly. Nobody's gonna miss them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron. You're beautiful.
I've been really, really enraged about it. And the thing is what I think Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty of is not agreeing with my liberal ideas. And I think that he's very guilty of that.
I think what he's guilty of is just being of not being proto Kyle. See, Kyle's. I don't know if you know about this, but Kyle's have gotten kind of sad and pathetic over the years, and
right.
I think people expected a lot. People got to know me being the proto Kyle, the very first Kyle.
You're talking about you're talking about like the Karen Kyle, like how Kyles have become the
yeah, and and there's a lot of reality to it. People get to know me, and then they meet other Kyles, and they're woefully fucking. They're so disappointed, and I understand that. That's probably Kyle's most egregious crime. But and I think I don't know what you would have charged this kid with. That he was actually guilty of. So, because I mean, if that's, if it is the case that, that Wisconsin, like the burden of proof as far as self-defense is like looking at somebody funny, and you can rock, you can rock an AR like wherever you fucking go, like that's cool.
Yep.
Then what the fuck? Like, what do you charge him with?
Well,
maybe like, no.
So
what do you charge him?
It really was a show trial in the sense that the prosecution, they had to know that they couldn't win the case.
I mean, because you're not arguing like the merits separate from the law or anything,
right? Their biggest what I think they were banking on was that the political climate was such that the jury would have to convict because...
Which is kind of gross, but I have to admit, at the same time, I was like, ugh, you're setting a dangerous precedent because the next dipshit teenager that fucking jerks off to fucking like action movies and that wants to fucking that has been paying attention to this fucking case, like he goes out and fucking kills somebody.
See,
and
I
he
think
finds
the
out that
thing-
his fucking state doesn't have those same laws because he doesn't live in fucking Wisconsin.
Okay,
he
but
lives in
what about the
Delaware or
precedent
whatever.
of saying, okay, it's fine for fucking people to come and riot in my town because a piece of shit, not innocent man was killed by
Well,
cops. You know
the
what?
thing
So
about-
here's the thing, though. It's like I forgot to say it. Like, if you think that fucking Jacob Blake was an innocent black man, that's just fucking straight up racist. Because, like, guess what? Black people can be pieces of shit too, right? Like, do you the Me Too movement? You know, like, believe all women. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Believe all women. Have you fucking ever talked to a woman? Like, you cannot believe them all. But many of them are just completely fucking crazy.
You can believe a percentage,
but-
and I'm not even going
yeah.
to fucking venture a percentage. I'm not even going to throw it out there.
But that's as ridiculous as saying believe all men. How many fucking guys have you talked to? Most of them are pieces of shit too. And guess what? There is a definite percentage of black people that also fucking suck ass. It's just pure and simple, right? So Jacob Blake was a piece of shit. Jacob Blake had a warrant for his arrest. Jacob Blake was in the middle of trying to fucking kidnap children that were not his. And Jacob Blake had a weapon and went after a cop. Jacob Blake deserved to fucking die. Plain and simple. And so what precedents would we set if we're saying, like, if somebody is killed in a justifiable arrest, killed justifiably during an arrest, and they just happen to be black, well, then you just have to accept the fact that your town's going to burn down. That's a precedent. That's in America I'm not interested in living.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, people definitely need to grow up about that and shit. Like, fucking, be realistic.
Right, but if they would have convicted Kyle of murder over this, you'd be saying no. Of course you have to let people come in and burn your fucking city down.
I don't.
And by the way, we won't protect you. We're not going to protect your city. We're not going to we're not going to bring in the National Guard. We're not going to allow the cops to intervene. We're going to make them only just.
So you
sit in
think
line.
that Kyle Rittenhouse, shooting those people, is like some kind of win for, like justice, him shooting those people is going to keep protesters at home, or at least protesters with ill intent at home?
No, it's not. But it's also no, it's not. But
because I don't think anybody made heroes of those people. All you hear about is what pieces of shit they were.
but you don't think people made heroes of the 2.5 that Jacob shot?
Yeah,
They sure did beforehand. This trial. I mean, it wasn't like they were. It was okay. Look, it's pretty sad that I didn't know that they were 3 white people until this trial, because it was not reported that Kyle Rittenhouse shot.
Or was it? And
No.
you just didn't know. I saw a thing.
Oh, I'm sure it was reported, but it wasn't reported. It wasn't. So okay. Sorry, I'm running over you, but I sent you this article the other day, because I got so angry, and that's when I was like, so listen, I like the BBC News for the most part, right? Because it seems like it's a little more non-biased, right? Because the Brits don't give two shits about left and right politics in America, really, right? They're just like,
No, their left and right is not even fucking like ours.
right.
I mean, they drive on the left.
So this is an article that was just put out by, BBC.com. Kyle Rittenhouse, who is U.S. teen cleared of protest killings. Okay, well, I'm just going to... Killings is interesting. Okay. A U.S. teenager has been cleared of all charges in relation to 2 men he shot and killed during unrest in Wisconsin. What do we know about Kyle Rittenhouse? after a black man, Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times in the back by police officers in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in August 2020.
Was he shot 7 times?
2 nights of rioting erupted. He was absolutely not shot 7 times in the back. He was shot 7 times, and several of the shots were in his back. But let's just read that one more time. After a black man, Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times in the back by police officers in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in August 2020, 2 nights of rioting erupted. On the 3rd night, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse fired on 3 men with a military-style semi-automatic rifle, killing 2 and seriously injuring a 3rd. He was arrested at his mother's home in Antioch, Illinois, some 30 minutes from Antioch. Antioch?
Yeah.
Antioch, Illinois, some 30 minutes from Kenosha, a day after he was charged with 1 count of 3rd-degree intentional homicide and 1 count of 1st-degree reckless homicide. Okay, what did you say?
I said, by the way, Brian thinks you say wheelbarrow funny.
Oh, I know. When I heard it on the thing, I thought I did too.
You say it like wheelbarrow. But you old timers say it like that.
Yeah, when I heard it on the thing, I was like, do I say wheelbarrow funny? But I can't not say wheelbarrow.
See, I say wheelbarrow.
Barrow.
But
borrow. Wheelbarrow.
But like the way you say it is like you hear like old dudes say it.
I listen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What the fuck? One more time. Okay.
Yeah.
U.S. teenager has been cleared of all charges in relation to 2 men he shot and killed during unrest in Wisconsin. What do we know about Kyle Rittenhouse?
This is BBC, the news agency, not BBC from porn.
Yes.
One of those things is way cooler than the other.
Okay. This is like the non-biased source, though.
Yeah.
The non-biased source.
Yeah.
After a black man, Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times in the back by police officers in Kenosha, Wisconsin in August 2020, 2 nights of rioting erupted. On the 3rd night, which is also kind of weird, if 2 nights of rioting erupted, on the 3rd night, Kyle Rittenhouse fired. It was the 2nd night of rioting, but anyway, on the 3rd night, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse fired on 3 men with a military-style semi-automatic rifle, killing 2 and seriously injuring a 3rd. He was arrested at his mother's home in Antioch, Illinois, some 30 minutes from Kenosha. A day later, he was charged with 1 count of 1st-degree intentional homicide and 1 count of 1st-degree reckless homicide.
All I've got to say is my goddamn right-wing gun nut friends have got to be so fucking happy that they didn't say assault rifle. Because they hate that.
All right. Hit me with the fucking mountain.
The mountain?
Yeah, the mountain that rides. No, fucking
that's the first thing
Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Fantastic.
We gotta take a break. We gotta take a break. I gotta fucking decompress. I take some deep breaths. I'm gonna breathe some oxygen.
Okay. So.
But I'm so fucking mad at last thing, and then you can tell me about mountain. But like, I get so angry when my team is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, shame on you. I'm like, shame on you for fucking, because when you're wrong, liberals, you make us all look bad, right? So like, stop it. I'm talking to you, Pete Charpentier.
I saw, but by the way, I saw a post that a guy that Pete and I know. I don't know if you know him too, but he's a big Trumper and shit. And he was mad as hell at the media. And he was mad about the stuff that he didn't hear about. And I was like, okay. I looked at the stuff that he didn't hear about, and it was shit that he just, like, it was out there, He was mad that he didn't hear about that stuff. There's also, like, he could have easily found that shit out. It wasn't like all thrust in his fucking face.
Right.
That there were facts that like he was ignorant of. But just like a lot of things, he could have fucking found that shit out for himself.
Sure. But the thing is like
I told you, I have been like ignorant of all the current developments. Like I was following it closely at first, not gonna lie, but then I'm a fucking short attention span, goddamn, American fucking consumer, a first worlder, and I was like, and I got bored with it,
Yeah. But like now it's been boiled down to like people on social media from the right saying like, like I don't know. I did see a funny meme about like the hat trick. About like Kyle getting a hat trick at
Did you see the one about
child rapist
about the fake crying? Like, oh, come on now, Kyle. Those eyes are fucking drier than Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy. I said pussy.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. I should stop. I should stop using that one. No, I shouldn't stop saying pussy. I should stop. So I don't want my friend that hates that word to think that I'm like poking fun at her, because I'm absolutely not. I respect her completely. I just like to. I'm just that whole situation. The shit that I can't say, shit that I'm not supposed to say.
Yeah.
That's all that is. Like I'm not. If you're watching this, I'm not poking fun at you. You have all my respect. But yeah, I do say pussy a lot, and I'm gonna keep saying it. But yeah, fucking Ben Shapiro.
Anyway, so yeah, okay. Tell me about Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Okay, so today, I want to know your 5 favorite songs of all time.
4, motherfucker.
4.
There's only fucking 4 Mount Rushmores.
God damn it. Well, I'm going to do 5. No, I can narrow it down. So yeah, 4.
4 favorite songs of all time.
4 favorite songs of all time.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to inhale some oxygen, and we'll be right back.
I will have no oxygen. He's going to use it all. I can tell by the state of your toilet that dating is not even on your radar right now.
Is there some shotgun splatter?
Yeah. Looks like fucking. Looks like Kyle Rittenhouse was at a fucking gigantic protest in there.
I have a bit of the splat, tidbit splatty. All right. I think I'm gonna leave that in. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy.
That's splatballing.
Splatballing.
Kyle Amundsen.
All right. Do I go first?
Yes.
Okay, so Mount Rushmore. So again, this is our new tradition. Sometimes it'll lighten the mood, hopefully. But yeah, so I have to pick my 4 greatest songs, and I'm on the spot because Kyle obviously came up with the question, so he's had some time to think about it. And we want to challenge you guys at home to chime in. Shelly put on the Spitballing Facebook page. She put her Mount Rushmore of greatest actors, and I was interested in her selections. She picked some good ones: Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. I can't remember the other 2, but I was like both interesting choices because they both had some really great roles, and yeah. So my first pick for Mount Rushmore of greatest song ever is Rush, "Ghost of a Chance."
Nice.
Do you remember that song?
I know you're very fond of that song.
I'm very fond of that song.
Lyrics.
It's interesting that I that song played at my first wedding, and the words are interesting. It's I don't believe in destiny or the guiding hand of fate. I don't believe in forever or love as a mystical state. I don't believe in the stars or the planets or angels watching from above. But I believe there's a ghost of a chance you can find someone to love and make it last.
Thank you for not singing that in that same
in Geddy Lee's voice.
Yes. God damn, that pitch.
Yeah.
That was the thing that fucked me up about Rush when I was younger.
Was you couldn't stand the Geddy Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lyrics were so good, and the music was so good, and the band is so fucking good.
Yeah.
That, like, I think as I fucking grew older and shit, and like now I can't imagine hearing them another way, like I would be like, you don't sound like, that doesn't sound like Rush. Like,
yeah.
But,
God, I miss
surprise, surprise, I like Rush better when I grew up.
Well, yeah. Though actually I was pretty young when I got into him because that was the first concert I ever went to.
Oh yeah,
was Rush with Shannon O'Neill. Yep. And I had no idea who they were before that, and then I went balls deep. But man, best lyricist of all time. And
Agreed.
yeah. Okay, that was mine.
All right. My first one, or actually, going in like reverse order or whatever. Number 4 for me is The Blarney Stone by Ween.
Ooh,
Off the
fucking
Mollusk
weird
album.
shit. That's a good one too. God damn it.
Man.
I don't remember that song though.
That's the one that sounds like an old sea shanty. Get off my ass, you wee bitty fuck. If I pull out the claymore, you're shit out of luck.
Oh yeah.
Who's that girl, that pretty young thing? After I fuck her, she'll get up and sing. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I fucking love Ween. My favorite Ween song of all time is Baby Bitch. Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
such a good song. It's about a guy who, like, you know, his girlfriend dumps him and he's like, and now I'm skinny and sick and paranoid. Yeah. Okay. My second one, and these are in no order, just carving them into the stone, is called The Family Jones, and it's by the band Crew Jones. And I've actually, you put this song on the end of a podcast episode fairly long time ago. They're not a very famous band, but they fucking should be. They're so amazing. They're kind of like this crazy banjo playing harmonica filled hip hop band.
Yeah.
And they're from,
They were fun.
Yeah, super fun. And that particular song is about their philosophy of rural rap, and it's all like talking about how living in the city is fine if you're out of your mind, and you know, something like a man ain't no man unless he's got himself a couple acres of land. just some really great lyrics, and yeah, they're just a fun fucking band to watch. So that's my number 2.
All right. Number 2 for me is actually The Headbanger by EPMD.
EPMD, I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of a rap supergroup from back in the day. I fucking still love 90s hip hop. Way more than I like hip hop today, although I still find I find some stuff that I enjoy.
Yeah, there's quite a few
Usually
hip-hop
on the
bands
Rhyme
I
Sayers
really love.
label, but
So what are the lyrics of that one?
they use a lot of words that people can't use now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Go figure.
Oh, weird.
But it's kind of they weren't like a gangster rap band, but this song is more aggressive, and it's been like on my like weight room playlist for like the last 30 years or whatever, however long it's fucking been, 40 years, like I don't know. But yeah, The Headbanger. It's it's a great song.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Maybe if I remember, maybe I'll try to put a playlist together for this one.
Oh, there's that. Number 3.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that there's a lot of like new hip hop that I really enjoy, like you know, like Atmosphere and Brother Ali and some of that, you know, like kind of thoughtful.
Rhyme Sayers label and the adjacent artists and stuff. You know, like he's not with that label, but like Prof. You know, there's just a lot of fucking really great stuff out there, and it's funny. It's nice to, you know, I know that they're still making mainstream hip hop albums and stuff, but usually those artists tend to fucking drive me nuts. So like the Rhyme Sayers label, you know, like there's a lot of like it's just adult. It's for fucking grown-ups. You know, it's grown-ups and fucking like, you know, hip hop for people with fucking IQs of like, you know, over 50.
Right. So my third pick, and man, it's hard to come up on the spot to come up with your top anything. But when I was gonna fight, I had to like come out with a walkout song, and oh my god, picking a walkout song is hard as fuck. And I had a bunch that I had like kind of put out there, like I had thought about, like I was gonna do with Karate I'll Kick Your Ass by Tenacious D.
I always had mine picked out Do You Want to Hurt Me by Culture Club.
So I like the idea of that, like putting out one that is like not very tough, right? And that's what I thought. But I thought with Karate, I'll Kick Your Ass would be fun because it'd be really fun to walk out and whatever. But they actually shot me down.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. So I decided to go with this song by Guy Clark called Bag of Bones. And I just fucking love this song. It's about basically growing old and, you know, being, you know, where your body is starting to fail you but you feel like you still have value. You're more than a bag of bones. And the song like really pumps me up. And it's sad as fuck and not it's the last thing you would want in a walkout song. And it was, I just think it was one of the best walkout songs ever because it talks, you know, basically I'm just saying, hey, I'm old as fuck, but I'm gonna still get in this ring and get my ass kicked for 9 minutes straight. So there you go.
But it didn't have your name in it.
What do you mean?
Reese Hernandez. Remember his walkout song that had his name in it?
Yeah.
It was like, and I'm like, the first time I heard it, I'm like, is his name in this? And we were like, does motherfucker have his name in his walkout song?
He's got his own walkout song.
Goddamn right.
That's right. Fucking Reese Hernandez. That guy is like tiny now.
Dude, yeah, he looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. So I'm sure you don't know, maybe a couple of you out there, but Reese Hernandez was a pretty big deal, like literally and figuratively,
very good.
In the local MMA.
Very skilled heavyweight,
but big dude.
Yeah,
big dude, and with plenty of extra weight on him.
Yeah.
But I remember one time he was at a fight and he had this guy in an Americana and he just was fucking screwing the pooch on that Americana and he could not finish it. And I was doing commentary on the fight afterward and I was like, yeah, so apparently Reese has absolutely no fucking clue how to finish an Americana. Yeah, that's not it, Reese. Don't bring that elbow up. And I was really hacking on him on it. And again, this is a giant dude. And so a couple months later, I'm at a fight, and whenever I'm at a fight, I'm always running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I'm doing 80 different jobs, but usually video production shit. And I'm running around, and I fucking run into Reese Hernandez, meaning I like literally run into Reese Hernandez, and he looks down at me and he's like, "I can't finish an Americana, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, you have no idea." And I fucking duck under him and like kept running.
He was one of my favorite heavyweights from that era.
But like I said, I saw him, oh God, it must have been 2 years ago now, but he maybe was 185 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking was like...
Lean and mean.
Lean and mean. So I don't know if he's still fighting. I
don't think so.
Yeah, but he looks good. Lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, shit, yeah. All right. Number 3 for me is Waiting for My Ruka by Sublime.
Huh. Okay. Which one's that?
That's the one... I don't think there's any music in there other than just on the east side. Anyway, yeah. See, now you made me sing. Normally, I don't even get to sing. But Waiting for My Ruka is just, it's really short. Like Ruka is like your kind of old reliable. As far as like your Heine is like the young hot girl that like you take out and show off, and then like your Ruka is like old reliable, the girl that like knows what you like, and you know, like maybe not a show pony, but anyway,
I can rock it.
Yeah. And it's fucking, I don't know.
I've never been a big Sublime fan. I kind of skipped that.
They kind of got the like heavy and like bro heavy, but I've just always fucking liked them.
It's a good one. Yeah. So my last one is
Andrew Loud, an honorable mention.
Yeah,
I've got.
Well, I'm sure I'll have 15 honorable mentions. My last one is Ben Folds and All You Can Eat, and I love fucking Ben Folds. And I actually got introduced, which is weird, like introduced because, Ben Folds 5, it was fucking huge. And I guess I knew the song, I don't know, there was a couple of hits that he had, but, and they were all right. But one of my buddies Tony Perkins, he like turned me on to this fucking it was MySpace. They hired Ben Folds to do like a concert for them, back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was a live concert. It was on, I think it's still on YouTube. If you type in MySpace, Ben Folds concert, I think it's on there. And he does all these, live ones. And I really it was like for the first time I ever like listened to the words of his songs. And I'm like, man, the guy is a fucking genius writer. And also just an amazing piano player. And I got to go see him 2 years ago down in the cities.
Yeah.
And it was super fun. He didn't play this song then, but I love it. And I'm just going to read you guys the words really quick. And I'm not going to sing it because, I love you. Okay. Son, look at all the people in this restaurant. What do you think they weigh? And out the window to the parking lot at their SUVs, taking up all of the space. They give no fuck. They talk as loud as they want. They give no fuck just as long as there's enough for them. Gonna get on the microphone down at Walmart. Talk about some shit that's been on my mind. Talk about the state of this great nation of ours. People look to your left. People look to your right. They give no fuck. They buy as much as they want. They give no fuck just as long as there's enough for them. Son, look at all the people lining up for plastic. What would you like to see them in the... Wouldn't you like to see them in the National Geographic? Squatting bare-assed in the dirt, eating rice from a bowl with a towel on their head and maybe a bone in their nose. See that asshole with that peace sign on his license plate, giving me the finger and running me out of his lane? God made us number one because he loves us the best. We should go bless someone else for a while. He should go, God damn it. God made us number one because he loves us the best. We should go bless someone else for a while. Give us a rest. They give no fuck. Yeah, everyone can see. They give no fuck. All that they can eat. It's a great fucking song. Plus, I just love any song that where the chorus is. They give no fuck as much as they want. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And that was number 4, correct?
That was number 4. That's a very pretty Mount Rushmore.
And number 1 for me, Fortunate Son.
Fortunate.
And not just when I'm flying a Huey onto an LZ in Vietnam. So, Fortunate Son plays every time there's a helicopter scene in a Vietnam movie. And I even was watching.
You gotta hum a couple of bars, buddy. I got nothing. Fortunate Son. It's like.
Whew, really?
Creedence
Clearwater Revival.
Oh, okay.
It ain't me. It ain't me.
Oh, okay.
I ain't no senator, son.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't me.
It's fucking amazing. It's like a fucking and people have misused it over the years. It's the greatest protest song ever. But fucking politicians have tried to latch onto it and stuff. But it does show up in a lot of movies, and it's so prevalent in helicopter scenes, in
Vietnam era movies.
That I was even watching a series, a new Netflix series, Oak something. Anyway, I should have wrote it down because I wanted to recommend it to you. At least the first couple of episodes, which are standalone episodes, were fucking amazing.
Really? Okay.
Oh, so good.
Well, I'm looking for something new.
The episode 2, they're in Vietnam, and sure, they're coming. They hop on some helicopters, and of course, what do you hear? Fucking Fortunate Son. Now, I love the CCR version. I just love this song, and it's their song, whatever. But there's also a version out there not a separate version of the song. It's just a cover of the song by a band. No, I'm drawing a fucking blank, which is what always happens when I try to recall something important in the middle.
I think that might be. I think because you allow yourself to Google it, that's why you draw a blank.
Probably. But a friend of mine turned me on to a great version by Clutch.
Clutch.
The name of the band is Clutch. And I'm like, I've always been like, ugh, I hate covers of that song because I love that song so much. It took me all of one listen to the Clutch version, and I was like,
Right.
okay, the CCR version is still like my classic all-time great version, but this is now the one that makes the weight room mix.
Okay.
So the Clutch version is wonderful. It's badass, and I love that fucking song. It's just fucking. I feel that shit. I feel that shit.
Do they is the Clutch version like
Almost perfectly like the same.
Oh, okay.
Just a little heavier.
Okay.
And I really like the guy's voice and everything. It's really, really fucking good.
Because I love covers, especially when they're like not the same. You know, like I love when somebody will do a like a hardcore rap song with a banjo and
You must love Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
fucking of course I love Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Who doesn't? Everybody loves Me
And
First
that's
and the
another
Gimme
thing.
Gimmes.
Taking something like Simon and Garfunkel and have a punk band do it.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Like the punk version of fucking Take Me Home Country Roads.
Oh, it's great.
Dude, best version of that fucking
Oh,
song.
by far. Like the thing is like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, I usually don't like the original song that much. And then, but I fucking love.
Yeah.
I mean, Take Me Home Country Road. That's a gift. I can take it or
Dude,
leave
but
it.
like you said, Simon and Garfunkel, the boxer, I gives a fuck about that song.
Yeah.
But I love
the
Me First and
one.
Gimme Gimmes version.
Yeah, if you haven't ever heard Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, just check out. There's also
That would be so wonderful to just like if you haven't fucking listened to them, like I can't
what a
imagine like
gift
just
to give you,
just
yeah.
discovering that fucking body of work. And shit.
that's such a good point. Like, because like I just take them for granted because I think I've had
Yeah.
all of their albums, and they're all over the place, and they're a funny band because they're not really a band.
Yeah, they're just a super group. They're just dudes,
Yeah.
Fat Mike and fucking and all these guys from these other bands and
Yeah,
shit.
No Effects and
that fucking like come together to do these fucking like and oh my god, I was so excited when they went on tour, and then those cunts didn't come to Minnesota.
How dare they?
Like I would have had to go to like fucking Chicago to see them, and I'm like, fuck Chicago. Like I'm not traveling that far to see them. I really want to see that fucking band.
Well, you could have stopped at Kenosha on the way and burnt it down a fucking.
I'm telling you,
Bringing
I
that
don't
shit full
like,
circle, baby.
I know I've been through Kenosha, but I don't. Have I? I think I have. I don't know shit about that, but I fucking have heard and read that Kenosha's a fucking shithole. But yeah, I have an honorable mention too, but it's your turn. Do you have an honorable mention you'd like to share?
Well, I did. I don't. I built whatever fucking Mount Rushmore. There's only 4 fucking presidents on there, so. But
hey, we're gonna start calling our honorable mention Crazy Horse.
Hey, there you go.
I've got a Crazy Horse. And
It would be so inappropriate for us to fucking for me to said that last week and had Kevin Costner be the honorable mention.
That would have been all right. So my Crazy Horse is "Witch of the Westmoreland" by Stan Rogers, the Canadian folk singer.
Stan Rogers, fucking amazing.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, his most famous, most popular song is probably Barrett's Privateers, which is a great like sing-along song when you're drunk playing Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, but yeah, Stan Rogers is fucking fantastic. Barrett's Privateers, The Idiot, Northwest Passage, Mary Ellen. Oh, the Mary Ellen Carter. Ellen Carter.
Did Tharg get you into him?
No, I think. Oh no, Nathan.
Oh, Nathan. Well,
Yep.
and he probably got because that Tharg's the one who introduced me to Stan Rogers, and like I have spent hours upon hours like hanging out with Tharg, listening to Stan Rogers.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, and like our old gaming group, it was funny because, like, I don't know if we'd ever listened to like Stan Rogers together, but we all knew like Barrett's Privateers, fucking word for word. Like Tharg put it on one time, and all of a sudden like we're all singing it.
That's awesome.
And which is the way it's meant to be fucking listened to, and it's just fucking great. I even like the there's a version that they recorded where they're at one of their houses, maybe they're at Stan's house or whatever, and it's just him and his bandmates, like him and his buddies or whatever. They're all just sitting around the table, singing
Seen it. Yeah.
And
it's great.
It's fucking amazing.
That's a great video.
I just love it. And you get to see the guys, and I don't know, there's a lot of personality there and shit. I love that version. But yeah, Witch of the Westmoreland is a folky song about a wounded knight that is searching for, who doesn't want to die, and he's searching for this witch with his hound and his hawk and his horse, and it's my favorite one of his songs, one of my all-time favorite songs. But that is my honorable mention.
I do enjoy a good sea shanty. You have two sea shanties up there.
Well, no. This isn't a sea shanty.
Well,
but I mean, it's sea shanty adjacent because it's Stan Rogers.
I mean, he
specializes in nautical themed.
It doesn't have to be. Okay, it's a shanty, or maybe it's not. I don't know, because a shanty's kind of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, okay, so like in Lord of the Rings, when they were all like hanging around at the bar, and that's not
the pony.
Yeah, that's not a shanty they were singing. That would be what it would be.
I don't know. Like just.
Well, I love me some Stan Rogers.
Yeah.
So basically, nobody would know anybody on your Mount Rushmore.
Well, I mean,
maybe CCR, but
yeah, CCR and Rena's pretty popular. And of course Sublime.
Sublime, maybe they would know that.
I mean, I didn't think I went with any really obscure artists. Well, unless you want to count Stan Rogers, but
yeah, he's not that obscure. No, that's good.
No, that's very popular. Although he died many years ago.
Not that
when we were kids or whatever.
No, not that long ago.
What?
Maybe a decade ago.
No,
I think it was pretty recent.
Was it?
Yeah,
or does it just seem that way because we're old now?
Maybe.
I wanted to say it was like in the 80s or something.
It's possible that he died in the 80s, and I just thought.
Especially when it comes to music, because I am stuck musically.
I discovered him way later than that, though.
Oh, me too. He was already dead.
I don't think he was when I fucking discovered him. Maybe he was. I don't know.
Then I bummed out. So he's got some musically inclined kids, including Garnet Rogers, who's played locally here.
Really?
But I didn't go see him. And he played at the fucking Nisswa Community Center. But yeah,
Crazy.
I did not go. But yeah, that's one of the fucking many great. I got turned on to a lot of cool music. Just hanging out at Nathan Kempke's house.
Huh.
Yeah, his dad had had a really cool music collection and stuff. Neil's a fucking cool guy. But yeah, that's the best one of those though. Goddamn, Stan Rogers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have any input on what we should do for Rushmore, hit us up, and also feel free to put your Rushmore in the comments on Facebook, because we'd like to know what your greatest.
And if you've got any thoughts about Kyle Rittenhouse and that whole situation, keep that shit to yourself, because we don't even agree with each other. So we don't give a fuck what you. We can only argue with so many fucking people.
That's true.
I don't even agree. I haven't even argued with anybody online about that. Of course, I'm still in Facebook jail, and I've totally fucking been ignoring Facebook, which is bad. But
yeah,
it's actually not bad.
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm really selfish when it comes to Facebook, and pretty much just look at my shit. But I did kind of.
You worry about your approach to your approach to Facebook is like my approach to sex.
How do you know? How do you know if she comes?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Shit.
Yeah. Cool. You got anything else we want to talk about?
Let's see. I mentioned that cool show. It's Oak something. It's the name of like a production company or whatever. The first episode has Sigourney Weaver in it.
Oh, okay. But when you say they standalone, are they like different stories?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I like that, but
I do. I thought that I wouldn't like it, but I do.
Okay.
And then there's some like
because I tried to get into Black Mirror, and I think it's really well done. And I think but I'm like, oh, I don't want to learn new characters every time.
Yeah, I mean, I watched like the first episode, and I made a great joke about fucking a pig, which I can't even remember now. But yeah, after that first episode, I was like, I don't know. I never went back.
There was something about a pig in there. I kind of vaguely remember.
Yeah, like the president had to fuck a pig or something to
Oh
save his daughter's
yeah,
life. Or
that's
whatever.
right. What a weird fucking. That was a really weird one.
And I made some joke about like, as a single man, I saved a lot of presidents' daughters. But,
Wheel of Time just came out. I know you haven't watched it yet, or
I watched the first episode,
Okay.
and I'm telling you, so Wheel of Time is not really my style. It's not as gritty and dark and adult as
Game of Thrones.
And I was watching it, and I wasn't really that. I was kind of annoyed, really. I wasn't digging it. That was the first half of the episode. Second half of the episode, I was like, okay, motherfucker. Like,
not bad, huh?
Guess who gets to? Guess who just earned a couple more episodes of Kyle watching it? You know.
So, yeah, Wheel of Time is a series done by Robert Jordan.
And there are what, like 30
22,
of them, or
I think,
something?
and something like 22.
A fucking buttload.
And they were like some of the first real long, epic fantasy books I ever read.
But they're like geared. They're geared towards teenagers, right?
I don't
They're
think that they're young adult, man. They're fucking that thick. I mean, they're like giant books. But definitely people don't drop like flies. You know, it's not fucking. It's not Game of Thrones. So, I think I read something
But there
like.
was some dying and shit. It was a little, like that battle in the first episode. I was like, God damn.
Well, yeah, I think they got the Game of Thrones memo.
Right.
But I think I read like the first 8 books or so of
Get
Robert
you some
Jordan.
character development. That's what fucking the Game of Thrones memo is.
And this is read books. And I'm sure everybody knows by now, but like I grew up as I had a very hard time reading when I was young, and I didn't really learn to read till I was like 15, 16, where I could read a little bit, and I didn't become a proficient reader. Well, I'm still not, but like, so to read a fucking 2,000-page book is a chore, and I read 8 of those motherfuckers, and then I read the first book of Game of Thrones. And I fucking Jordan just was dead.
Out the fucking window.
He was just dead to me. Yeah. I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. But I did just recently read the last 3 books. Listen to the last 3 books. Because he died. Robert Jordan died. But he partnered up with Brandon Soderman, Salemore. It's not Brandon Soderland, because that's my buddy. Sansbury,
congratulations.
something, but he's a pretty good writer who did a couple other series that I enjoyed, and I guess Robert Jordan kind of partnered with him so that he could finish the books off, the 19th, 20th, or the 20th, 21, whatever, and they were okay. They were like, because Brandon is actually like a better writer than Robert Jordan. But I didn't need to read book 9 through book 20. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Thanks for goddamn nothing.
Yeah, so you can skip those if you want to read it. But yeah, I watched the first 3. There's only 3 on Amazon right now, and I didn't hate it. I liked it. I liked it.
Did I mention Arcane? The also on Netflix. It's based on a game that I don't fucking know anything about. League of Legends.
Yeah,
or
you
whatever.
did mention it. Yeah,
Arcane is pretty good, and I super like the animation. Now, Foundation also came out, and I have not started that yet.
Okay.
Because it's I don't get as excited about science fiction as I do about fantasy.
Unless it's The Expanse.
Yes. And although, and speaking of The Expanse, I read that like the authors or whatever, they said something about how this isn't necessarily the end for the series.
Well, you mean as far as the show goes?
As far as the show goes.
Well, they have another book coming out this year.
So
I have it pre-ordered.
How do they? And what was the last? Was the last one Caliban's?
Oh, I don't remember which.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think there's 8 of them.
So a little hope there, because as you may or may not know, we probably talked about it. This is supposed to be the last season of The Expanse, and they're only doing 6 episodes or something. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the authors of the book say it's going to go on.
Yeah. They said
require
they said that it's not
Amazon.
it's not necessarily over. And
Well,
I can't
as
imagine
we
Amazon,
know,
like, because it got what, like, since Amazon picked it up, like, it fucking blew up.
right? Yeah. Well, as we know, it's difficult to kill the Expanse because that's one of those success stories.
Yes,
But
indeed. And thank you, Amazon.
yeah,
You get a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
bad press.
I hope they continue with it. It's wonderful. I am really interested in. I can't wait till this next book comes out. Like I said, I got it pre-ordered on Audible, and but yeah, because it ended in a really fucking crazy spot. I can't talk about because you're nowhere close to that timeline on the show.
I also started an interesting show called.
Wait, what about Foundation? Is it looked interesting? Or?
It looks good.
So Foundation is an old science fiction book. I never read it.
Yeah, by Asimov or whatever.
Isaac Asimov. Yeah, actually, I've missed a ton of the classics because I couldn't read back then.
And and while I could read, and I was a very bookish child and read a lot, I read a lot of shit. I didn't always read a lot of shit because I started off reading a lot of, like I was a pretty fucking, I was a pretty well-read child. But then I got away from like, because I burned through the classics and stuff, and then I started reading like Shakespeare and shit like that. But then I discovered all my guilty pleasure reads, like Conan and stuff. And then I started reading all kinds of other shit. But it's not like I stopped reading good stuff. Like I consider like S.E. Hinton was a good, like that shit's not necessarily great books, but I think that they were important books, especially for, like a 12-year-old kid or whatever. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but I didn't read it because I was reading Conan and shit like that.
Yeah, Robert E. Howard, the best. Well, yeah, so I'm interested in Foundation, but I haven't even looked at it. I haven't watched any TV, barely any TV. I watched that.
You know what else wasn't good? weren't good? Like the Dungeons and Dragons books, with like Drizzt and shit like that. Those were like stuff that was more stuff that I enjoyed that were not good.
Drizzt Do'Urden?
Yeah.
R.A. Salvatore?
Yeah, Salvatore.
Fuck that. That shit was awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah,
like,
they were cool.
Probably like 100 books
at
out
the
there.
time, but they were not good books.
I have thought many times about buying a book or two of that because you just pick it up anywhere.
You wouldn't like it.
Well, it's also, they're really short. They're
Yeah.
they're only like 6 hours long, and I'm like, I'm not spending a credit on 6 fucking hours. But I don't know if I would like it or not. No.
No. And that's the thing. Like I remember that shit being really cool. Several years ago, I tried to read like a couple of different ones.
The Dark Elf. If you have no
And I'm
idea,
just like-
which actually nobody has any idea what we're talking about. If you know who Drizzt
I don't know. I
Do'Urden
think there's a
is
bunch of gamers and like I
that
think,
watch us,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Or maybe not a bunch of them, but I think that through people that do watch it, at least one of them is a gamer.
Have you ever read the Elric saga?
Elric of Melibone?
Yeah.
I don't even fucking like. I started reading. I don't even know if I finished the first one.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, God, they were good.
I didn't fucking. I wasn't crazy about them.
That's the same time period that I read. Like, I was reading a lot of fucking fantasy, just devouring any fantasy I could find.
There was I some shit that really
Because the
got
very
me.
first book I ever read was Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin.
Yeah.
And that was a great book. And it was cool because I would think I was in 10th grade, maybe. It probably must have been 10th grade. And I was at summer school because I was a dunce. And it was an English class, and my teacher said, she like took me aside.
You get an A if you.
Yeah, she said, yeah, she was super sweet and she was kind of hot, but she was like, if you just.
Oh, so that was an exciting conversation right up until she said, "If you read this book."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Like, I'm gonna get an A if I
read this book.
No.
Yeah, so she let me basically skip summer school to read Wizard of Earthsea, and I struggled through it, but I did it, and that was it. And I was fucking hooked on fantasy for a long time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
There was a lot
the
of
Elric saga.
There's one of these. Do
Do you remember Blue Oyster Cult? Like, do you remember their Elric saga song?
No.
Dude, it's called Black Blade, and it is
After his intelligent sword.
Yes, and it's Black Blade. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Fuck, I'll have to find that for you. Black Blade. It's a great song.
We've probably already done an episode like this, but one of these days we should fucking, because there's so many good like fantasy series and stuff that I don't know if I'd necessarily revisit because I don't know if I like, because I'm not into the same shit. I need like more sophisticated like grittier, darker stuff. Not necessarily darker, but more sophisticated stuff. But there's Heroes of the Flame by, was it Rosenblum, something like that, Rosen something, I don't know, sound Jewish. But Guardians of the Flame, that was a great series of books, and that was because I kind of threw you for a loop, because usually the premise that and then you're transplanted to this, you're transported to this magical world, and you are your character, is a hokey, goofy, silly, and kind of stupid premise. And it makes you think that you're gonna fucking wind up in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, and then he hits you with, yeah, and then your friend dies, and this member of the group gets raped. Oh, and you're like, holy shit, this isn't the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, and turns that into no, it's not like that. It's not like this fucking it's not all unicorns and fairies and this fucking fanciful shit. It's fucking harsh and fucking he just presents such a you're ready for one thing. You're ready for this high fantasy fucking this fun romp or whatever the fuck it's gonna be, and then it turns into something darker, something fucking more realistic and gritty and just a cruel, harsh fucking reality, and that these kids are thrust into, and you're like, fucking okay, you kind of got me. And then I fucking got hooked and read that whole series. Couldn't get enough of it.
And this is stuff you read a long time ago.
Yeah, not when I was a kid per se.
Young adult, though.
But yeah,
I mean your 20s.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even younger than that, but a teenager at the latest. No, probably a teenager. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we should definitely dive into those.
Yeah, and then that way we don't have to fucking ambush people with it. We can just tell them, hey, this is about all the fantasy books we've read, so they can skip it.
Yeah, don't skip anything we do. It's very important.
Especially the shit we've got coming up.
Okay, especially what?
The shit we've got coming up.
Oh, we have good stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
our new projects and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry I yelled at you for the first hour, and glad we got to and chip it on the Rushmore. All right, we'll talk to you next time.
I got the blues so bad one time it put my face in a permanent frown. You know I'm feeling so much better, I could cakewalk into town. I woke up this morning feeling so good, you know I laid back down again. Throw your big leg over me, mama, I just might not feel this good again. My baby, oh my baby, I love the way she walks. When my girl gets sleepy, I love the way she baby talks. My work done got scarce, honey, all my work, it done got hard. I spent the whole day stealing chickens, mama, from the rich folks' yard. Got the blues so bad one time it put my face in a permanent frown. Now I'm feeling so much better, I could cakewalk into town. I wanna go on a picnic in the country, mama, and stay all day. I don't care if I don't do nothing, just while my time away. I got the blues so bad one time it put my face in a permanent frown. You know I'm feeling so much better, I could cakewalk into town.